I'm calling the meeting to order. Let's see, Ms. Richards.
I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Rensberger.
Present.
Ms. Papa Rainbow.
Here.
Dr. Garcia. Here. Mr. Feldbaum.
Here.
And I am here. We have a quorum. So on the consent agenda, we have the library minutes, the excess library materials, the personnel changes, and the bill list. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. And because Ellen is on Zoom, I'll need to take a roll call. Ms. Richards?
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger?
Aye.
Ms. Patrick Rangel?
Aye.
Dr. Garcia?
Aye.
Mr. Feldbaum?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Next, we have the director's report, Ms. Murphy.
Well, you'll notice on the agenda, all of your names at the bottom here. This is a new requirement from the most recent legislative session. So you'll see that on all of the agendas. I did remove, we were showing like the next 3 board meetings, and I removed 2 additional ones to try and keep the agendas to one page. We'll continue to try and keep it to one page. We'll see how it goes. For our next chapter plans, remediation of the burst sprinkler head at Center is going well. The carpet's not taking too long. So it only put us slightly behind what we are expecting. So we're hoping to open just after Labor Day. LaSalle is moving more slowly as we're waiting for engineering approval from the city. Western construction documents are nearing completion, and we expect to bring bids for that project to the September board meeting, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Part of that process will also be a second portion of the sale of bonds. So you'll likely see some paperwork on that as well. Just a reminder, we do not have to go back to the county council for approval. They approved both bond sales, one for Western and one for LaSalle, as part of that one vote last year. So, but some paperwork is forthcoming on that sale. Having a social worker on staff, we're already seeing a difference. This is one story where she helped an unhoused patron at German reconnect with Oak Lawn, get back on the housing list. He was missing some personal identity documents. She helped him procure those in order to be on that list. So we're hoping he has permanent shelter by fall. We had a good number of staff members attend the American Library Association annual conference in Philadelphia, including Western Branch manager Tanika Lax, who was awarded that Spectrum Scholarship from ALA. So she was there 2 days ahead of us and did a lot of networking and extra sessions there. Beginning this June, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library made bilingual English-Spanish books available in Indiana. We continue to partner with Community Foundation on trying to get just every single kid who's eligible signed up for that. I attached their information that they send out to all of their partners so you could see how many books are going out to kids every month. The state library did have a 30% cut in their budget. Most of the state departments were asked to cut by 5%, the state library 30%. They laid off 16 staff members. We know our Inspire database is going to be reduced. I'll know Friday to what level. I'm almost certain Rosetta Stone will no longer be provided through that. I don't know what else. And then there were, I want to say 4 regional coordinators. There are now 3. And then the person who for many years has been in charge of the professional development office is no longer there. So we expect slower response time when we request training and things of that sort. I know it's been really hard on them, and they're doing the best they can with what they've got. So it's a little discouraging. We've been conducting monthly cybersecurity training, including about fraudulent emails, secure cloud file storage, QR code safety. The training is provided at no cost to us through the Indiana Office of Technology. It should help prevent any data breaches. Summer reading is an exciting statistic. Right now, we have this is as of last week, 8,000 registrants and nearly 29,000 books logged. So that's always exciting.
Thank you. And congratulations, Ms. Lax.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion to accept the director's report?
Second.
We have a motion to accept the director's report. Mr. Feldbaum,
Aye.
Dr. Garcia,
Aye.
Ms. Packard Ringo,
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger, Ms. Richards,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Next, we have the patron engagement report.
So I have a couple pictures of different events. This one is our most recent culturally speaking author event with Moon Hill. She writes sci-fi fantasy. And then a picture of our most recent community curated art exhibit in the main library. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it yet, all local artists.
Will be there.
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. I'll have to find out.
I should.
I don't know. And then also on page one of the top checkouts I wanted to point out is the teen book by 74 Stories. And it's a collection of creative works by the high school students of the South Bend Community School Corporation. I thought it was really cool that it's the top circulating teen title. We have copies of that throughout the library system. And then page 2, I just wanted to say that overall gate count is down by 18%, but I think that's to be expected since the 2 branches closed. However, German, River Park, and Tuck actually saw increases in gate count. And then page 3, total circulation, which includes digital and physical materials, increased slightly by 3%. And most of that was actually in physical circulation. And I think that has a lot to do with summer reading club. Just for fun, on the last page, I put a lot of pictures from our summer reading club kickoff event that was on Michigan Street. And within, I think we mentioned this in a previous, maybe last board meeting, but 815 patrons signed up for summer reading club during that 3-hour event. It was very fun, and it coincided with First Friday. And the block of Michigan Street was blocked off for all of them. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, now we'll move to the financial report.
The fund report, and the appropriations report are listed. If there's any specific questions, please let me know. You will notice, I'll just call them out, there are 2 lines, internally that show that they are, over the appropriation, but as I explained last meeting, it's really just, I need to do some transfers. And because we're, busy in budget, just looking at some things, that wasn't high priority because we're not over budget. From the appropriation nor from the working budget, only by line. And so I plan on doing a transfer for the next board meeting, and then hopefully we won't have to do any more until December. Usually I have to do them, twice a year. There's small changes, but try to only do them twice a year. Don't want to bring transfers every single meeting and hold the budget lines that tightly because overall we're not over budget. But if there's any specific questions on any of the lines, please feel free to ask. And then overall, what we've been working on financially is, I'm gonna start from the bottom of my little list here, is we have closed finally on the 1032 Fox Street property. And that is now, we have gone in, we've cut down some trees or some grass, changed the lock, so that is our property. We will be making some decisions of what we want to do with that going forward. So we now are not landlocked as much to decide what we're going to do in the future. So that property finally, a year later, has finally closed, and I appreciate the board holding on and waiting for us to get that finalized. Trust Indiana, yield is stable, not much going on there. It's just continuing to, continue to get interest on that.
What percentage? I'm sorry.
So, go ahead.
What percentage?
It's at 4.29. Yep, so we're still, it's still holding, no changes over that. Really what we're, the business office and myself are working on, we're in the middle of audit season and budget season all at the same time. So we are finishing the component unit audit, which is really the county's audit. I haven't had any questions. I believe they're supposed to finish their audit July 31st. They extended their audit. I'm not sure why, whether it was the component units or themselves. Haven't heard any other questions. We should be fine. So they should be done with their audit. We'll find out what their results are at some point in time. So that audit should be done. We just did the kickoff meeting for the Crow SBOA, State Board of Accounts audit. So we have already started submitting documentation. We will, I have more documentation to submit. The plan is that that audit should hopefully be done by the end of August. That is more comprehensive and it's actually over 2023, 2024. So we're working through that audit.
And Jeanette's excited because those are 2 years. She was entirely responsible
It's like
for all
my
the
work.
paperwork. So she knows where it all is this time.
So if I need to explain it, I know why it happened the way it happened. And I already have the documents that I need to explain to them, why some things changed. But it is my work, so it's a little easier to explain what you did and why you did it than it is to explain what Bill did. But the plus is, even on the first audit that I sat through, we had no exit interview questions or concerns. So we should be going into this audit even cleaner because I know we actually changed and fixed some things that I wasn't comfortable with whenever the audit came through. So I have no qualms that it'll be a clean audit again. And then we are also in a workers' comp audit. We've already submitted some documentation for that. We have one every year and it's about this time. So, I don't have any concerns that with HR and, payroll that they'll submit those and we'll be fine, with that. And with that, and then the other piece that, we're working on heavily is obviously the budget, which we'll talk a little bit about later. And one piece I'll tell you now is that part of it is we won't get all of our information for the budget until August 16th. And so that's going to change what we need to do with the dates. And we'll talk about that a little bit later at the meeting. But yeah, so we were already working on the budget. It's rolled forward, looking at numbers and things like that. But there's numbers from the state and the county that we're waiting for that we won't get until mid-August, so I can't necessarily finish it, at the time that I would like to finish it. So, but diligently working on budget prep. That, if there's any questions.
My question goes back just a little bit. With not one, but 2 branches closed, does that change our spending in any way, or is it offset by when the construction guys are in, or?
It doesn't necessarily change, so electric, gas, all those types of things that they're needed, even when it's still open, they still have to have the air on.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily change any, they're not buying, branch supplies, right? So some of that may have gone down, but overall, I think it kind of stays, kind of static, and then deciding what's gonna go into that branch, but some of that is bond money, some of that's going toward rainy day, so it's already budgeted there, so I think we're fine.
We're seeing some savings in open positions. So Center had an open position.
Yep.
2, 1, whatever it was, that we just hold open. So that's a position we're not paying.
I just directed her to the other door.
Oh, you're fine, okay.
So some of that, we're seeing a little bit less in salaries, but not a significant amount.
We've seen, we've had a few, any position that we can keep open, there's,
You just leave them open while they're.
just leave them open, so.
In the director's report, we found out how much the state was cutting
Mhm.
libraries. That's gonna end up affecting us. Is it gonna also affect us? Does the county have the right to change things because of that cut too, so that it would change us any more than what the results of that might be? Does that make any sense?
I would say that we're still waiting from some State Board of Accounts direction
Okay.
on that. We're seeing some, and local income tax is the big question for us for 2028, which is when that change happens. So we're still waiting for the State Board of Accounts on that one. We do expect our circuit breakers to be larger for, that's one report we're waiting for 2026, whatever year we're in. When you start thinking about 2026 right now, then you start thinking next year's 2027, but we're not there. So it remains to be seen. The county doesn't have oversight of our budget unless we exceed the amount we're allowed to grow. So we try to keep under that amount.
I just wasn't sure, if I knew we got some money from the state, I just wasn't sure if the county had any control over that and if that might change because
That's the one
of the
piece,
changes
yeah.
they're having posted to.
So the way local income tax is going to be distributed does change for 2028. The lawyers are still trying to figure out what that means and how that's gonna work, so we're waiting to hear from them.
Anything else? I just want to comment, I was on the call with the Crow auditor. And I want to tell everybody publicly, Anjanette spoke with so much confidence. He would say, well, you need to do this. She said, did it, done it, got it, we're on it. So I want to compliment you for
Well, thank you.
that.
I've done audits for a very long time and I used to work at Crow, so I kind of know how it works. And so even when I came in with staff, I told them, you don't have to be afraid of an audit. It's really just asking the question. If you know the answer, why you did what you did, you usually are fine. And if you're fine with changing and you agree with the change, it's usually fine. Don't be afraid of an audit. I've been through a lot.
I've always been afraid of an audit.
I'm not.
It's real, and it is really great to have Anjanette here and not being afraid of an audit, because she's also not afraid to push back a little bit. Like, I don't think you understand how libraries work in this way. So what are you actually looking for? It's almost like a reference question, like you're asking for this, but I don't think you really want that because it's gonna be like 150 pages that you need to look for. So what do you want? And let's see if we can get down to that nugget. So.
Good. All right, do I have a motion to accept the patron engagement report and the financial report?
So moved.
Second,
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the two reports. Mr. Philbaum,
Aye.
Dr. Garcia. Aye. Ms. Patrick Ringo,
aye.
Mr. Rensberger,
Aye.
Ms. Richards, and I vote
Aye.
aye. Oh, I'm sorry.
She didn't have this thing go.
No, let's get these eyes moving. Okay. Unfinished business. So we have the first, do we have any unfinished business?
None.
Okay. So new business, we have the TMC quote for LAS. So many acronyms. Could you talk a little bit about that, either Lisa or Ron?
For your approval, we have the TMC furniture proposal, which provides an estimate for the play features that will be installed in the children's area of LaSalle branch. And this cost will be paid from bond proceeds. And this is part of our next chapter renovations, where at LaSalle branch, we'll have a space dedicated for interactive play features in their children's area, just as we have at Center Branch. And we worked with TMC Furniture, who we work with on the center play features. And they have come up with a couple of dynamic structures based on the theme of transportation, and some learning panels for hands-on engagement as well. So the proposal, you can see some designs for an airplane with a bench seat and a play side, train diner car with interactive kitchen playset, flight tracker map, and then 2 imaginative transportation signs. And their proposal is attached for.
Looks fun, thank you.
That's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah. Any questions? All righty, so I would like a motion to accept the TMC quote for LaSalle branch.
So moved.
Ms. Richards.
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger. Ms. Packard Randall.
Aye.
Dr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger. Mr.
You called me once.
Mr. Feldbaum.
Yeah, I'll vote aye too.
And I vote aye, so the motion is passed. All right, next we have the center change order. And
That's
Ms.
me.
Murphy.
So I've attached the change orders for the center. You always expect to have some unexpected in these projects, so that's what you're seeing here. Total for these changes, $51,097.
So I didn't quite understand the math here. So you say we hold a contingency of 5% for this project at 68,000.
Yes,
Total change orders is 48, but then you had 51, so. how does that-
51 just for this one. So we had some deduct change orders, some negative change orders.
Okay,
So our total in change orders so far is at the 48,000.
got it. Okay, thank you.
So we're well within our contingency.
Any questions on the change orders? All right, I would like a motion to accept the center branch change order. Need a second, people.
Second.
Thank you.
Too hot.
Yeah. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the center change order. Mr. Feldbaum.
Sure, I'll go along with that one.
Okay. Dr. Garcia. Aye. Ms. Packard Randall.
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger. Ms. Richards.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passed. Okay. Mr. Rensberger, you're coming to the end of your term, but I want to tell you that even when you're not here, I'm going to call your name. All right, next we have the collection development policy.
All right, that's me. Good afternoon. We recommend that the board approve the following updates to the collection development policy. We've made an addition clarifying our stance on AI generated work in 4.2. This is kind of a commitment that we are not going to be accepting any published or digital material that is based on AI material.
If we know.
If we know.
Yeah, but even if we don't know, we have things that have been submitted that we have removed because we recognize that it's AI. Already, it's done already. Yeah, Amazon has quite a few things.
Really?
Yes. yes.
So, yes, so for a little background, there are now entire novels being written by AI and not by people. So and they are for sale. And we are trying not to purchase them.
Yeah, sometimes they slip through.
So did they make up a name of an author?
Yep.
Okay, so.
So how do you know? Does they have to disclose that?
How does Dave know?
Most of the time, the items that come in kind of get reviewed if it's a single one-off kind of thing, especially from Amazon, because people request it. And then we purchase it and we're like, oh, okay.
Sometimes you can tell by reading it. It's sort of a more formal.
Yeah.
It's got more of a cold.
Are
Yeah.
there any checkers that you can put it through?
Good question. I'll have to ask Dave and his team if there's any way to tell ahead of time by. Sometimes, most of the time, they have a little review of a page or two.
And I would
They're
say
Filtering.
not from our typical book vendors. So we're getting it from Baker Taylor.
Limited success. It's kind of AI fighting AI. And we
Where do you
lose.
get to that?
But some of the requests from patrons, because we try to buy pretty much everything in patron requests. So some of those, they don't know. And so if we order them, those sometimes slip through the cracks.
All right, any more questions?
Looks good. Okay, I need a motion to accept the new collection development policy.
So,
Great. All right, we're on it. Do we get a second there?
Mhm.
Okay. Ms. Richards.
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger.
Aye.
Ms. Packard Ringo.
I,
Dr. Garcia.
Aye.
Mr. Feldbaum.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. All right, elevator updates, those dumb elevators. What are you gonna do?
We're gonna try and fix them permanently is what we're gonna, well, nothing's permanent, but we're gonna try and fix them long-term.
That is the plan. Both of the elevators have been having some occasional downtime issues, mostly due to the equipment. Schindler did a complete study of the two elevators. That is the only company that can address any issues for these elevators. They suggested mechanical upgrades of certain worn items that have not been replaced in the last couple of years. For these reasons, I recommend that we accept the submitted quote. We are not going to be doing the cab interior upgrade option. We eliminated that.
How did you decide to eliminate that?
The cabs right now are in decent condition. We are actually going to be removing the carpet and putting down like luxury vinyl flooring, but our facilities department is gonna take care of that.
All right, any questions on the elevators? All right, I would like a motion to approve the bid for the elevator.
I make a motion.
Oh, could we rephrase that to quote,
Quote, I'm sorry,
since we did not follow a formal bid process?
thank you. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I thought.
I'll
That's not the
second
right
that.
word. All right, Mr. Feldbaum,
Oh, aye.
what are you doing there on your phone?
Hey, you know, I'm multitask.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Garcia. Aye. Ms. Packard Rangel.
I,
Mr. Rensberger, Ms. Richards, and I vote aye. All right, next, collection services update.
Yeah, this is a briefer for me. The largest staff area at the main library is the collection service department, located in the building's basement. It's over 2,100 square feet, it's a very large area. We've got 12 full-time staff and 19 part-time staff that utilize that area. During Maine's renovation, this area received no updates at all. During construction, there was a flood from a severed water main that caused flooding in that entire area. With persistent kind of musty odor. So we are looking at adding flooring, ceiling, lights to this area, which will renovate this. An area that staff have worked in for quite some time that hasn't been upgraded. We saw quotes from 3 different vendors, 2 of them declined, and the attached photos from HDR Group. We're recommending approval of this quote, without the 2 alternates that were attached.
What is collection services exactly?
They're the ones that order the books, process the books for the entire library system. So it's thinking work, computer work, and manual work.
I've been in that basement. Have any of you been in that basement?
used to have a lot of workshops down there.
Time of everything.
Yeah. That's where everything was, you know?
All right, any questions? I will take a motion for approving the collection services area renovation quote. Yeah, motion?
So,
Carrie and Nicole duking it out.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the collection services area renovation quote. Ms. Richards. Mr. Rensberger, Ms. Packard Rangel,
I,
Dr. Garcia,
Aye.
Mr. Feldbaum,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion passes. Next, we have the resolution to establish a change fund for center.
So, when we closed the center branch, we took the change fund and all of that into the business office. And then subsequently, at some point in time, we gave you all a resolution to establish all of the change funds and make sure that they were correct for all of the branches except for center. And so, we are reestablishing now that we're getting ready to reopen, we are establishing the change funds, petty cash, those types of things for, the center branch. So
That's basically what it is.
Any questions? I'll take a motion.
So move.
Second,
We moved and seconded that we pass a resolution to establish a change fund for center. Ms. Richards,
aye.
Mr. Rensberger, Ms. Packard Ringo,
Aye.
Dr. Garcia,
Aye.
Mr. Feldbaum,
Aye.
and I vote aye. Motion passed. And the next item is the center reopen date.
We're recommending that we reopen Center Branch on Tuesday, September 2nd. Construction on the branch is expected to be complete by mid-August. We find that reopening on September 2nd will allow for time for the furniture to be installed and for staff to return for final preparations. And MCAM Architecture reviewed that date and found it acceptable.
So in the beginning, weren't we talking about a year?
We said fall, we said we would
Okay.
reopen in the fall, so about 9 months, so we're pretty close.
Yep. I know they'll be happy to get that reopened. Do I have a motion?
It looks real pretty too. It looks real nice in there. The furniture hasn't been in there yet, but the paint colors are really good. I don't know if you've driven by, the exterior looks really nice.
Most of the questions that I've had from patrons are related to the outside. Of course, they can't see the inside yet, but they can tell there's a lot going on out there.
There's a lot going on.
Is
out
there a path around?
There's a path.
It's funny, my husband said, is there a path around there? And I said, where? Yeah,
And the path will have a story walk.
okay.
There's play features out there for the kids. It will be a garden area, and it will be fenced in so the kids don't run out into the very busy road. So
There's no such thing as not a play area for kids.
that's true.
They climbing on the fences.
True. You can slow them down a little bit if you put a fence between them and the road, though.
All right, any questions? Do I have a motion to approve the center branch reopening?
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the center branch reopening for September 2nd. Mr. Feldbaum,
Aye.
Dr. Garcia,
Aye.
Ms. Packard Rengo,
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger, Ms. Richards.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
We are planning a grand reopening, which I'll send you an email out for September 9th. I'll send you an email invitation. So we're gonna have a little party.
Okay,
So happy. I had somebody in my office today that works there. Just so ready to go home.
all right, next on our other business, we have budget dates.
You wanna?
Sure. So as Anjanette stated in her report, we're still waiting for some numbers. So the last 2 years, we've done our budget budget public hearing in August. In order to do that, we would have to have the budget submitted in Gateway before we get that local income tax number.
Yeah.
And we don't think that's wise. So we do need to push that back to September. Then in order to make sure it's adopted on time, we are hoping to change the October meeting, move it forward, because it has to be finally submitted by November 1st. And the State Board of Accounts is not flexible. So I would like to build in an extra week. We're making sure if we run into any trouble with quorum or the weather is bad for whatever reason, week would make Anjanette and myself feel a whole lot better. So I believe it's October 20th. Let me just,
October 20th.
We would like it October 20th.
instead of the 27th for the October board meeting.
Works for me.
Okay. And that's one that's important to have a quorum for, and anyone who is remote cannot vote on a budget adoption. So if everyone's fine with that,
Yes.
we'll plan on it.
Seth, you're Fulbright. Okay, that didn't need to be voted on, right? Right, okay. Next, we have strategic plan updates. Kara.
So, Matt Wynn is going to present on where we are on this initiative.
Would you tell us who Matt Lynn is? Oh, he's introducing himself, okay.
Here,
Sure.
at the back.
Well, actually, if you could stand this way so that Ellen can see you a little bit better. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I have vision insurance, I haven't taken advantage of it, so I've been a lot closer to these notes in my own. So, we'll be bended, just hold it, my baby, spend all day with it. So thank you for having me, us here today, presenting on this project. It's been a major part of my goals this year, and it's a little near and dear to my heart, the onboarding process. So with me technically is the Chief People Officer, our admin liaison and general counsel, Harry Yeomans, and of course, branch manager to the stars, Alex Giorgio. He has years of experience, an eye for detail, and just a very branch-specific outlook. And I'm Matt Wynn, the staff development and volunteer coordinator, and I add give or take 20 years of experience in various but often specialized roles. That is to say, I've been interviewed, hired, and worked in a position to have a decent grasp on our hiring process over the years. So I don't have creating a robust onboarding experience. It is a core tenet of our current strategic plan. It's under the people section. So we want to invest in our staff so they can thrive in their career, but also to engage them as one of our most valuable resources. So during onboarding, if you get hired and you meet me on your first day, I say we have extensive resources that include our well-funded physical and digital collections, our physical spaces, our databases, and of course, our in-person programming, which utilizes our greatest resource, our people. And then I thought, that includes you now. We are one of the last places you can have real social interaction, have someone pick up the phone on the first ring and it be a real person. And you can come in person and get actual real help. And there's no expectation to buy anything. Our wonderful executive director, Stephanie Murphy, will go out into the wider world to conferences and meetings and greetings and come back with one common piece of feedback, and that is, oh, your people are the best. They helped me do this. I walked in, oh, I called. No, I called and they were so on it. So again, I say it to redundantly say, the people are our most important asset. So in consideration of all these things, we went to task to ask, what are we doing currently? What are we missing? What can stay, what needs to go, and sort of that thing down the line. So there are best practices, of course, but we really wanted to focus on the library specific things. So we surveyed current staff, attended ALA sessions, followed new staff for their entire first day here. One-on-one with the managers, our current managers, and most recently we attended a webinar of a very large library system, all to find out we're already doing pretty great. Not to toot our own horn. Doing okay. A substantial portion of what we found, like that other people had been doing, we realized that we were already starting to implement. So Ross Haney was before me, kind of rolled that ball, and we've just been keeping that going. But with all things development, we had to be fearless and continue to hone our efforts. We knew there was work to be done, and it's important to get that right because you don't get a second chance to make your first impression, as they say. If you're a Stephen Covey fan, this would be a sharpen the saw moment. Oh, for now, keep in mind that we're talking about, when we talk about onboarding, we're referencing about the 6 month to 1 year process of getting someone hired, acclimated, and ultimately forged into a fully realized person. As mentioned before, there's so many acronyms and so many things to learn along the way that we take for granted. So to start, we ask, what do staff need to know? When do they need to know it? Who is going to teach it to them? And how will they be taught? In short, our planning process consisted of analyzing what we were doing currently, making sure we got feedback from all levels of the organization and any pertinent stakeholders, making a list of everything you could possibly be trained on and ordering them by urgency. We sorted these by time sensitivity, ranging from day one stuff to that first year, range. And then we decided who would teach these sessions, if they would be in person or virtual. Much of what we had done in the past was considered on, oh, did I skip one? No, oh yeah, over it. So, when you go one more. Oh, the back one. Let me see, where am I at? Sorry. Okay, what it was like, here are my points. Thank you, Azaria. Much of what we had done in the past was considered like on-the-job training. Immersion was a great way to see if this job really was for you, but it's not the best way to create competent staff. Sometimes in the name of getting a department, their much needed staff member, we would send them someone who could have used like more time, one-on-one training, surrounded by more support. Gwinnett County is a 15 branch system in Georgia, that we attended their webinar on onboarding, and their research found that time and time again, managers want that well-trained staff member arriving at their location. So yeah, we have in the past focused on like getting people to where they ultimately will work, at kind of like cost to their training. Timelines for when someone got hired might affect whether they could meet certain managers and how much time they could be allotted in any one department. This on-the-job training and which departments always wanted their staff as soon as possible. It took away the time someone could have a complete key areas of training, just to really hammer that home. And finally, learning the basics from a myriad of people added to confusion and inconsistency. No matter how well-intended trainers were, if they did something differently or even inefficiently, they would pass this on to the newest staff. Some might even prioritize something over the other, and some might negate a whole area of training entirely, assuming that they already know that specific practice. So what it became, so we meet with new staff for about half a day to go over our employee handbook, basic technology needs and accounts, ethics, ALA Bill of Rights, those types of things. This became a good faith effort to get staff important information that would serve them in any service-based role. We began to standardize what we said, and when we said it, we discovered the need for even more standardization across the board. Anything we could train on, we will standardize. That's the way it went. We made time for specific people to go over certain details, customer service philosophy, outreach practices, as many dedicated managers we could get people in front of, we would. And while these were great opportunities for socialization and very informative, each staff member's familiarity with libraries in general would dictate how effective that time was being allotted. And new hires still have quarterly trainings for certain aspects. While this model has served us well for a few years, SJCPL has grown and changed even more with newer staff making up the bulk of our entire system. Fun fact, about 80 to 90 people have worked here from 2020 back, and everyone else, like 120, have been hired in the last 5 years. So a big shift.
Mark that 2020 COVID year.
I just use that as like that five.
And Main renovation.
Yeah.
So that combo of Main renovation.
We had to hire 80 people to restaff everywhere after Maine closed, because as people left, positions went unfilled. So that sounds worse than it actually was, so.
You monitor turnover, I assume.
Yeah,
So that had to have a big impact.
it
And
did.
this was
It did because
stability like crazy up till COVID.
exactly, up until the move. I would say it was the move more than COVID, actually.
Into Keller Park.
Yeah, the move out of Maine. Sorry.
No. Just think about the entire, the library through all time. What it will be. So we realized that standardization was a big part of what we had to plan. Making the most universal timeline possible was essential to that plan. And to do this, we could simply draft our own team of experts and geniuses, help assure staff get the correct info on time and efficiently. So our highly structured first week, we have extended our time with new staff substantially. The staff development coordinator will guide our new hires through a structured and time-stamped initial 2 days. We have an extensive and informative tour where social interaction is encouraged throughout. We have planned who will teach what, when, and how. Collaborative and hybrid training sessions. Our staff will still meet with managers, get crucial information, and be briefed on our mission and values. What has changed is how and when this information is distributed. Those brief virtual trainings will emphasize standardization and consistency, while the in-person meetings will continue to put a name to a face and provide the crucial connections we cherish at SJCPL. Leaning into our own genius, we also hire some of the most talented people ever. They code, they paint, they design 3D models, they act, they knit, and even have an award-winning carver and painter of duck decoys on staff.
Always gotta have one.
She will not be teaching staff that. Joke. Our staff are amazing. Sorry, what?
You never know when you're gonna need one of those.
You never know. And that you could compete and win awards. Our staff really are amazing in every sense of the word. Leaning on our experts to teach new staff fosters the internal connection and community while also ensuring staff are trained to a standard. Reimagining our follow-up in the first year activities. We aim to combine our leadership and teamwork training known as DISC with our orientation process, which introduces our administration and their roles within SJCPL and our service base. This would take less staff time overall and create a standard schedule to follow, reducing planning time substantially. And a note on virtual trainings, going virtual is not a light decision. We highly favor in-person training and want to emphasize connections between all levels of staff across locations. Virtual training allows us to pace the influx of new information to our hires. This pacing allows staff to be introduced to concepts at the right time in the right amounts. We do our new staff a disservice by cramping information into smaller time slots and hinder their ability to succeed. An added benefit of converting these portions to online session also allows for staff at all levels to get a refresher course wherever and whenever. Very tiny, but welcome to your first day. As you can see, a substantial portion of time has been reserved for one-on-time with the development coordinator, that's me. Just a little part, I don't like talking about me necessarily. I've just worked in so many positions and all these specialized things. I've cleaned all 3 floors of bathrooms. I've mopped the floors. I've set up all our tables in my last job. I worked in Studio 304. I was a supervisor. I cataloged fiction for a few years. So when you meet me, it's not that they're just stuck with me. It's that I think they put me in this position because I've worked a lot of jobs and kind of know what your first day might look like. So that was hopefully.
Generally one-on-one, or are these generally groups?
I've done, the most I've ever done is 3. When we hired like interns all together, they were the same kind of position. So a lot of them are one-on-one.
Gwinnett County that we heard from in the webinar, they wait until they have a certain number. I've considered that, but ultimately I think it's too big of a risk to, and not fair to your new hires either, because then if they don't have a job or they put in their notice and now they have to wait for 3 weeks or who knows how long until we get X number of people, it didn't seem.
That's my question.
Yeah.
So their first hours will get them officially hired and ready to work. Right up front, we introduce key components of our organization, illustrating the fact that, hey, you now work for a place that has a mission, vision, values, and a strategic plan. We will also talk about who they serve, as well as our why we do this. Our extended tour, again, assures there's time to see everything, ask pertinent questions, but also allow for more time to meet with the key players within the system. The tour will aim to get new staff some face time with various managers and specialized staff as we traverse the full campus. That's great. We will review key components of the handbook in detail and complete management trainings. A new addition will be the technology assessment and the SJCPL specific technology training. This is meeting staff where they are and will help facilitate their growth and ability to use our technology, as well as then go forth and help our patron base with their own tech needs. In closing, we introduce them to our customer service philosophy, close the day with a workshop/challenge to have them independently locate various resources within our very, like the building, databases, website, things like it's very engaging and like self-driven. These are kind of fun. Also, dare we say, kind of fun. Thank you. Thank you. this is the remainder of the week here. You'll notice that we begin leaning on our highly qualified staff almost immediately to round out this training. Tuesday, we continue with essential knowledge for helping our patrons. We introduce Reader's Advisory as a service, how to search our collection, how to make our very first library card. New staff experience our youth services department to fully understand their day-to-day. If time allows, they're to be paired with an experienced staff member to shadow and observe that day. Wednesday is a chance to expand their understanding of who we serve from an outreach standpoint, and for further training on serving our patrons. The remainder of the day will be their first actual experience at their own branch or their home department. And rounding things out, Thursday will be reserved for special training from a dedicated staff member on shelving and merchandising. And from there, we can see the rest of their year here. As we pull back, we look into the full year of training. They begin their journey into the specialized departments. They will continue to complete essential trainings on our services and public offerings, as well as expand the general job knowledge. And they will continue to grow in their knowledge of self and service by completing their DISC assessments and trauma-informed care applications.
Thank you.
It's a lot, usually like to shoot from the hip, but it's just so much that I thought it was important to really, write up something that was legible.
Well, and kudos to Kara and Matt and Alex and even Ross, who's not here. They did put so much work into this. And he breezed over it, but they talked with and did a survey with freshly onboarded staff, what was good, what could have been better, and he also talked with every single branch manager, how are people coming to you? They did a lot of groundwork before they came up with this plan.
And this is just the plan. There's still a lot to do because we have to get people trained to be specialized trainers. We have to, make these virtual trainings. There's a lot more to do, but we're really excited about having a really standard approach. And so we started with the largest group of employees, the library assistants, which is our frontline staff. And we're gonna just basically take what we have for them and add and subtract as necessary for the other positions. But this was the first, well, guess who should get this?
Have you ever calculated the cost of training an individual, one individual?
I mean, there are, benchmarks out there. I think SHRM's average, is like,
Society of Human Resource
yes, the
Managers.
Society for Human Resource Management, says that it costs about $4,100 on average to train a new employee. That's not the cost of turning over an employee.
That's where I was heading.
Yes.
That's a big portion of the cost turnover.
Yes, absolutely. And that, not to say that this is the reason that we have decided some of these things should be virtual, but we think that the time spent with those managers as people go around, the real information that people were getting during those meetings was who they are, what they do, and how they do it, and what the department is. And that can still be done through a tour, but then they don't have to sit down with each new person for an hour every single time, if we do it virtual. And also we're making sure that the message is consistent and everyone's getting the same information if it's virtual. And it can be pushed out, because you're not gonna remember all of that detail 6 months after your first day. It's just too much.
And just to add on to that real fast is the last person we hired was looking to become a librarian, wholly invested in knew a lot of jargon type things. So all our meetings immediately jumped a level. So when we sat down with collection services or anything, we were already over some of the basics. So that one was this, we did all this analysis of it. I'm like, oh, that's so not the normal. That's not, it was wonderful. But again, that also helped us realize that, okay, not everyone is, there was me. I started 20 years ago and I was putting books away and I didn't know where anything was. But now I could cartwheel anywhere in the library and find it efficiently. But not everybody has that yet. So that was an important part of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions? Hey, yeah, well done. Thank you. Our next agenda item is hearing of visitors. At regular meetings, the public is invited to address the board during the public comment period of the agenda. Individuals may only speak once for 3 minutes during this time. Each individual must use their own allotted time and cannot be given to another speaker. If you wish to give public comment, you must sign in at the beginning of the meeting. When your name is called, speakers may approach the podium. They shall properly identify themselves by stating their name and address for the record. Personnel issues are not to be addressed during open sessions of the library board. Please be respectful during the comment period. This includes not interrupting others and ending your comments when your time is up. Since the board acts as a unified body and not as individual members, the board listens but does not respond to public comment. We have one speaker signed up, Sue Kessam.
Hello, good afternoon. Sue Castle, 422 Kennedy Drive in South Bend. Previously, the library had given wonderful grant classes. And as we find a lot of public funding is being cut, a lot of the nonprofits need to up their grant game, basically. The library has a professional level grant database, which I've used, which is wonderful. A lot of people don't know about it. So I would like for the library to offer grant classes again to train the local nonprofits on how to utilize and do grants better. I also think it would be great to list, there's over 400 nonprofits in St. Joe County. The library used to have a database of nonprofits and then it was discontinued. So I would like to see that again on the website. It's easy enough to do. I downloaded the information from the state, Secretary of State. I just went and found all the ones that had a 501c3. So it was pretty easy to populate the database. So I think that would be really useful for the community, not just have ones that participate in the library. I'd like to see the Facebook pages. I feel like the social media is a little stingy. And what I mean by that is I would love every week to show up in Facebook, all the things going on at Center, all the things going on at TUD, just a listing, all the things going on here, because all we're getting is just a few little things about very few events at the main library. Social media is free. I think each branch librarian could give a list of what's going on at their library that week, just a date, time, what it is, and then post that on different social media platforms and keep people more informed. I would personally sign up for the Center one, the TUD one, and the main one, because I use 3 libraries. So I think people, could utilize, which one they want to sign up for, which branch they like going to. So I'd like to see more information on what you guys are doing, because it's wonderful and people need to know about it. So I also, in the reading thing,
30 seconds.
South Bend Community Schools has the possibility of having the state take over because the iRead is so poor. We have a literacy crisis. So I think it's really important for our literacy experts to really step up and work with the schools on that. I was hoping Sarah Rodriguez could come and give you updates on how that's going. The iRead.
Time's up.
iRead comes out in August.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
And I have no other signups here. Our next library board meeting date is Monday, August 25th. We will be back at the main library. And if there are no other comments, I will take a motion to adjourn. Really? You guys don't want to leave?
It's air conditioning. second or?
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Feldbaum,
Aye.
Dr. Garcia. Aye. Springle,
Aye.
Mr. Rensberger,
Aye.
Ms. Richards.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, staff.